grabbability. So if you have a light pressure on that, the tool will know which hairs to grab, which makes it quite simple. The problem with the other way is that you had to be an artist in order to strip these dogs. Otherwise, the newer people that came in actually created dogs that looked like they were from Switzerland, where Swiss cheese comes from, with all the holes inside. So in here, protection is the main thing for these types of breeds. Now, a harsh coat can also be on a Labrador Retriever. When you have the correct coat on a Lab, it feels like a sheet of armor on there. It's not that soft, cuddly stuff like that. It's water hits that and it beads right off. It's almost like it's bulletproof. And you will be able to get an opportunity to feel that today, kind of like what we did when we were talking about the Dalmatian yesterday. Remember the difference in that texture right there? The key to presenting the correct coat to the judge is restoring it back to its original genetic form. The key to maintaining a show dog is to not break it down from its original genetic form. What are some things that will break down the texture on that, or that the original genetic form? Chalk, water, chemicals, high pH,
really expensive shampoos.
What's that?
Really expensive shampoo.
Really expensive shampoo.
Pay good money for that.
Yeah, but things like that will actually break that hair down, and it will alter it. So and then we have to go out and buy products to try to bring it back again. So it's like a never-ending battle right there. Well, my thought is just don't mess it up. Then you don't have to go out and spend all that money to do that. So stripping is pulling the hair. Carding is using a tool to grab the undercoat only. There are many, many tools that are out on the market to do all these different things, but the main thing I want you to keep in mind is that there are show tools for show grooming, but a majority of the tools out there are for pet grooming.
So don't furminate.
Don't furminate, exactly. The furminator is not something you want to use on a show dog. Or lava stones, which, a lot of people talk about that. Yeah.
They're great on your feet.
There's some, use them on your feet. No, I wouldn't do that either. I got talked into a pedicure one time when I was in rolling coat is when we create many layers. What I mean by this is that if you have a breed, Golden Retriever could do this. You can create many layers on a Dalmatian, a Boxer, a Vizsla, the Westies, the Border Terrier, the Leonberger, a Toller, a Labrador Retriever. Can't do this on a Portuguese water dog, can't do this on a poodle. But many of those breeds that have hair that comes in like that and blows coat, you can do that. So what is rolling coat? Rolling coat is the practice of creating many layers. So when I did that 90 degrees on the Portuguese water dog yesterday, instead of cutting that hair, the longer hairs, I would use a special tool to pull those longer hairs. Now, if I groomed the top line on a dog every Tuesday, then that means every Tuesday in many weeks from now, new hair would come in. So if we go out 36 weeks, then you may have 20 different layers of hair underneath there. Think about the density that you have.
Oh, wow.
The miniature schnauzer people have a thing where they call staging. Staging, what they actually do is wherever the hair is supposed to be the highest, they pull it all the way to the skin first. and then wherever it's supposed to be the lowest, then they pull all the way to the skin many weeks later. So eventually when it grows, if you've done this correctly, the dog looks like it's perfectly shaped. So they can create these perfect shapes. The bad part of that is, if you don't finish your dog within a few months, all that hair is too long and you got to start the process all over again. When you have a dog like a German Shepherd that blows coat quite a bit, then I'm working that undercoat so I can have what's called a controlled blow. So I'm rolling the coat and I'm working that undercoat, so when it blows coat, it's going to blow some of those longer pieces, but I'm going to control what those longer pieces are, because I'm going to work it a little bit each week. When you groom in parts 6 days a week, your grooming sessions are only, like I said, maybe maximum 15 minutes long. Most people, when they groom a dog all at once, the disadvantage to that is that you get tired, your dog gets tired, you get lazy towards the end, and you end up with one side of the dog that ends up looking better than the rest of the dog. The other thing too is that when you groom a dog all at once, it can get a little bit overwhelming and confusing because you're trying to look at the whole dog all at once. If I'm going to be grooming, let's say tomorrow is Tuesday, and Tuesday is my top line day. That means today's Monday. When my dog's running around, what am I going to pay attention to?
What the top line, what
the
hairs
top
are
line.
coming out of the
Exactly. I'm not gonna look at the whole dog. I'm gonna look at parts of the dog. So I'm gonna make that perfect. Now, by using this method, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a dog that comes out of a crate and shakes and can walk into the ring and look perfect, no matter what. Those other people, when the dog shakes, you're gonna have this piece of hair going out here, this piece of hair going out there, and all this stuff telling the judge, look at me, look at me, look at me. Let me give you an example. I was at a show, I think it was in Iowa, I can't remember, and it was soft-coated Wheaten Terriers. And this one person had dogs in the ring that were the best groomed dogs there. I mean, they were just amazing. The only problem is she had the same bad habit on every dog. She didn't get the hair underneath where the elbow was. So what happened is every time the dog went to move, it threw that hair out and it looked like the dog was throwing its elbows. The dog that won, which was groomed impeccably, was the puppy. Why do you think the puppy beat all those other dogs, including her older dogs?
Didn't have the
There
hair.
you go. It did not have that hair growing out like that, so it wasn't throwing those elbows. So when I approached her, I said, do you mind if I make a suggestion? And I explained what I saw, and she proceeded to tell me that she's a master groomer. And I'm like, okay, well, keep going. Good luck to you right there. But sometimes we can get a little tunnel vision and we can't see these things. So kind of take some of those outside opinions with enough grain of salt that you go in and investigate and not just pick something. But that's why I keep telling you guys video, 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 video. What I'd like to do is I'd like to borrow your setup because it's really tall, and I'd like us to move over to this section over here, and I want to do, well actually, you brought a table.